start with Dale Lally. Dale?
Ben, when you have a receiver like Deontay, who's as talented as Deontay, but obviously going through some struggles right now, do you talk to him at all? And if you do, what do you say to him?
Yeah, you know, we had a nice talk on the sideline at the end of the first half, and just, you know, like I said, I thought it was a good talk. I won't tell you what we said. If he wants to divulge what was said, that's fine. But you know, just trying to encourage him, and I thought I was encouraged by the way the second half. I thought he came out and made some plays and showed some physicality in some of those catches, putting his head down, you know, and trying to get his yards and stuff like that. So I was encouraged by his bounce back and really proud of him.
Mike Pizzuto?
Ben, when you looked at the Buffalo tape and maybe the couple games before that, are you seeing defenses that are anticipating what you guys are doing, or are you seeing something that the offense is not doing, like, you know, a play is there to be made and a blitz doesn't get picked up, or you throw to the wrong guy, or somebody drops it? I mean, is it out there if you guys get better, or do you have to adjust drastically here?
I don't think we need to adjust drastically. There are plays to be had that we're not making. I think a lot of it, I shouldn't say a lot of it, I think some of it stems from physicality. You know, I just don't think we're being as physical as we should be and need to be all the time. And so I think that's something, you know, something that we've always took pride in, right, is the Pittsburgh Steelers and being physical and coming out. And physicality isn't just about the line. You know, I think people just think that that's where it is, but really it's about, you know, picking up blitzes. It's about getting the tough yards. It's about blocking, you know, on the perimeter, things like that. So there's a lot of things that involve. Sometimes physicality is mental too. You have to be mentally tough. And so all those things combined, I think can hopefully turn this thing around and we can hit the plays that are there to be had.
Joe Rudder?
Yeah, Ben, do you feel like you're getting a good rapport, have been getting a good rapport with James Washington, and his snaps were lower earlier in the season? Were you lobbying him to get more playing time?
Well, I think James has done a great job of stepping up when we needed him to, making plays, being physical when you need him to do that. And so I think he's being rewarded with more playing time from the coaches. And I think he should be on the field. We've got a lot of playmakers, and you can't just let guys sit on the sideline that could potentially help you. So like Coach says, we'll turn over every stone, all that stuff. We just need, all of us need to just keep producing and making more plays when they're there to be had.
Jerry Dulac?
Ben, good morning. You know, several of your coaches, including Mike yesterday, mentioned about the lack of physical play. And even Mike said it seems to be in all areas, but it also seems to be that a lot of it's pointed at the offensive line. Do you agree with that? And do your guys take that personally?
Well, good morning, Jerry. I think, you know, like I said, when you talk about physicality, that's where everyone automatically looks. Your eyes go to O-line, D-line, because that's every single play you have to be physical. So I think it naturally falls in that area. I don't think that all the fingers should be pointed there by any means. I think when we talk about physicality, I think the line takes it personal because they want to be physical. But being physical doesn't always mean just I'm going to go blow him off the line of scrimmage or overpower him. You know, sometimes, like I said, being physically tough, you know, in your mind. I mean, you've got to find multiple ways to be physical. And so I think that blitz pickups, I think all those things, but it's, I don't want to get off the track, but I don't want to lose track that it's not just about the line. It's all of us. You know, we, as runners, you know, sometimes there's a guy in the hole, an unblocked guy. Sometimes you got to put your head down and get the tough 1 or 2 yards. Sometimes receivers have to put their head down instead of stepping out of bounds and get those tough kind of yards. And it's not everybody, but collectively, we all need to be more physical. And so I hate that the finger gets pointed at the line because it shouldn't be there, but that's where it naturally kind of starts when you talk about a football team or an offense.
Jim Colony?
So, of course, naturally, I'm going to ask you an offensive line-related question, but how would you feel about lining up under center more that might give the line a better push?
Yeah, we did that this week. We did we did a series or two of kind of no huddle under center runs. We ran a couple left and right and some check with me's and things like that. We had a little bit of success, not as probably as much as we would have liked, but yeah, I'm all for it. I think that's a great mix up that you can do. And if it helps, then absolutely, why not? I'll do whatever we need to do to help win.
Mark Caboli.
Hey, Ben, you've experienced in your career a number of times where your team had lulls during the season, didn't play well, just to turn it around late. I mean, you look at some of the top teams in the league this year, they've had lulls. How do you express to your teammates that things like this happen and it's not necessarily a death sentence?
Yeah, it's something that you have, there's a lot of outside noise, right? And deservedly so. We haven't played well. We've lost 2 in a row. The fans are getting anxious. The talking heads are doing what they're supposed to do and talk bad about us and all that stuff, which is, we've earned it and deserved it recently. What I would tell guys and the mindset and the approach that I'm taking is it's not the end of the world. We've got 3 games left in the regular season. We have guaranteed ourselves a chance in the playoffs. So we're in the postseason. We have 3 weeks now to get it going, to turn it around, to give ourselves the best chance to reach our ultimate goal, which is winning a Super Bowl. If we were starting the postseason tomorrow, maybe there'd be a little bit more panic on our part, like we got to get something figured out right now. Well, we need to get it figured out now. But the good thing is we know we've got games after these next 3. And the teams that we're playing are 2 divisional opponents. And the third one is a playoff caliber or in the playoffs too, most likely. So what a great test for us to kind of get some postseason, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but postseason work in by playing these last 3 games. And so that's what I just would reiterate to these guys is we still have some work to do to kind of get ourselves out of this lull that we're in, because like you say, every team has them. It's just so happening that ours is happening right now, but it's not too late for us.
Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, Ben, you said after the game that you just weren't good enough. What more did you see when you watched the tape? What specifically wasn't good enough? And are there things that you personally were doing well earlier in the season that have maybe dropped below the standard you expect from yourself?
Well, I always expect myself to be the best I can be on the football field. And if I'm not completing passes, if I'm not making proper reads, if I'm not getting the ball to the playmakers where it needs to be, then those are things that I need to improve on.
Will Graves.
Ben, it's typically you take Wednesdays off, or at least from a throwing standpoint. Do you plan to maybe mix that up over here the next couple of weeks and maybe throw more? And how do you weigh that against just not wanting to overdo it on the arm after considering the workload you've had this season?
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the arm. My arm feels really good. We still need to be prudent because we don't really know. We haven't put together a long body of work since since we've had the surgery. But right now, my arm feels really good. I think it's more about just the rest of the body, and it's kind of a week by week thing. The accumulation, the toll of the hits, of pounding, of grinding, of being 38 years old, all those things kind of add up. And so it's just smart. With this, especially with this weird season, right? With how many games we played in a row, plus the not really having a bye when we were supposed, all those things just kind of add up. And so we'll just continue to be smart and kind of take it as my body feels it needs it.
Aditi Kinklerbala.
Ben, I know with 3 kids, there's not a lot of extra time, but do you watch football as a fan? Are there offensive concepts around the league that sort of appeal to you? And then what is the process of when you like something and you want to incorporate it? How does that work? Do you do that, or have you run sort of the same things for so long that you like to stick with what you know you're good at?
I have an 8-year-old son that is hooked on football. So football is always, he knows the Thursday, Monday, Sunday schedules better than I do. He'll tell me many times what time our game starts moving forward. So yes, I watch a lot of football as a fan, and I enjoy watching it because we do see stuff. You see a scheme, you see a play, not just NFL, college too. I think it's smart, and there have been many plays that we have put in that have come from other teams. College football, whatever it is, and you bring them to Randy, to bring Coach Canada. And we may put them in at practice and it doesn't quite feel right, so we throw it out. But no, I'm all for doing those kind of things. And it happens all the time. I mean, we used to joke that guys brought plays in from the game Madden. You have to kind of say whatever works and at least take a look at it. Now, there's going to be some things that just, all right, that's not going to work, for whatever it is. But we absolutely will look at anything.
Chris Adamski.
Ben, I'm not on the field, so I don't know. We don't even really get to watch practice too much anymore, and I don't have a scout's eye. But your body do you know your arm strength compared to 23 or 28 to 38, and especially after a weird off season with surgery and no preseason and all that? Or do you feel like you are where you've been, or are you not? Do you adjust yourself if you're not? Do you know your body?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know my body pretty well. And that's why I said earlier, like, my arm feels really good. Like, typically this time of year, my elbow would be getting worn down. And I don't feel that right now. So I'm very encouraged by that. That being said, we also, I talk to the doctors a lot. I talk to Garrett Guimond, our strength and conditioning, talk to John Norwig, our trainer, because we also, just because it feels good, you don't want to push it so much that you end up, you just kind of fall off that cliff, or you go downhill right away. It might not be a slow decline. It could be a big fall off. And you want that to happen at the end of February, not right now. So right now my arm feels really good. And so we just want to continue that. And so that's kind of how we approach our work every week, is just kind of how it feels and how I can express that to the people around me.
Noah Strackbean.
Hey, Ben, at this point in the season, how many plays are you still drawing in the dirt during a game?
Well, the ground's frozen, so we really can't draw any in the dirt. And so, we obviously, that was just a figure of speech, but we're still going through that. Every game, there'll be a kind of a set group of no huddles where it's, all right, we're moving guys around and we're putting them in different spots that they're not used to. So certain games require more. The last game we didn't do much. The game before we didn't do a whole lot, kind of intentionally to kind of, show some different looks at people.
All right, got time for a couple more. Jeff Hathorn.
Hey, Ben, what are the advantages or what are the benefits of finally just having a normal week of practice and actually an extra day to kind of work on some of these things?
Yeah, it's nice. We can, the way we've installed things so far this week have been at a normal pace instead of throwing in all the third down, all the red zone on one day or whatever it might be. So to kind of have that bonus day to add things at a slower pace has been pretty nice. And hopefully it's an ability that we can digest it a little bit better as we need to moving forward with this week.
Mark Caboli.
Hey, Ben, there was a report on Sunday that you're having significant knee issues. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 38 years old. I played football for 17 years. I've had multiple surgeries, but I saw that report. I don't know where it came from. I think it was one that said that the Steelers were concerned. I would love to know who that was or who told them, because the week before the Washington, I definitely was having issues with my knee. Landed on it, had something going on. But other than just an old knee and arthritis, my knee actually feels really good this week, especially. Like, I feel good after playing on an artificial surface. Typically, that's another issue that makes it just kind of ache. But after last week, it feels pretty good. So that report to me is just one of those phony kind of things that people sometimes want to make up. So I actually feel pretty good.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Jerry Dulac. Jerry.
Hey, Ben, speaking of figures of speech, in what vein would you categorize if you can't do it, I need to hang it up a couple days afterward?
Yeah, that's I've always said, and you and I have spoken on that, Jerry, that I never want to hurt the team. I'm not going to be that guy that plays past his ability. If I feel like I can't be out there and I'm not doing it at a high level, I'm not giving my team the best chance to win, then I'm going to hang it up. Obviously, some of that is just frustration from a game, but I will always go home every week and evaluate the way that I played, the way that I feel. I will pray heavily over it. I feel that when the time is right, I'll know it. And so I'm going to go out there this week and give it everything I have to, get this team back on track, because I feel it's a special team. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about the end of the season, because we know at the end of the season, you'll talk about that. I'll never just hang it up in the middle of the season, obviously. But, this team is special, and the season is not over. I want everyone out there to just to take a deep breath. I know it's kind of crazy right now, but just take a deep breath. We've got time. And so that's my mindset too. Take a deep breath. Let's get ready to go this week.